call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is that Peter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he did the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
That's awesome.
Oh. I wondered who that was. Anyway, I'd like somebody to make a motion to add an item after item 7, which is acceptance of a trailer for the fire department.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Thank you. And next is the approval of the minutes for the last meeting, November 3rd.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for November 3rd.
No, second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. And next department report. Do you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Last month, we had 160 calls for service. On top of that, we had 84 vehicle stops. Out of that, those calls, or on top of those calls for service, we had 7 arrests or criminal summonses. The calls for service were up from last month and last year. But not by a whole lot, but about by 10 or 15.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, I think we got that in our packet.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, thank you. It's good to have it.
It's good to hear you.
Things seem to be going very smoothly right now, so without any bumps in the road, so.
Good.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to Monmouth.
Thank you.
Were you ever a Monmouth officer?
Yes, back in the early 90s.
Oh,
I was there for about 3 or 4 years.
oh,
Well, luckily, I never met you.
it was during Chief Shaw's time.
No, during Chief Ken Latula.
Oh, Kettle too. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah, good evening. Just a few things for the fire department. Just want to recap our trip to New York City last week. We had a great time. 11 firefighters went down for that trip. 3 of them were junior firefighters. And the whole trip was about the juniors. And we try to do that once a year to do something special. And this year we were able to make arrangements to go down to Long Island and visit several fire departments, and went into New York City and visited the 9/11 museum, which was amazing. We only spent 2 hours in there. We could have spent 2 days. So certainly I'd like to go back and try to finish that, but it was very, very moving going through that, all the displays and whatnot. Juniors had a great time. The regular firefighters had a good time. Just great experience all the way around. Saturday, the 27th of November, it's gonna be that tree lighting downtown at 5:30. We're gonna open up the fire station for refreshments, basically hot chocolate, coffee, maybe some snacks, and we'll head down for the tree lighting for 6 o'clock, and probably get done around 6:15. We'll have Sparky and Santa present for that. And then the auxiliary is planning on Saturday, December 4th from 9 to 11. Not going to do a breakfast. They're still not comfortable doing a bunch of people indoors and all closed up because of COVID. So we're going to have pictures with Santa, and we're going to funnel people through the back of the building out towards the front of the building, kind of like a one-way traffic type thing to get their pictures with Santa. We'll have snacks, cookies, stuff like that for the kids, and hot chocolate again. And again, that's from 9 to 11 on Saturday morning, December 4th. And that's also the morning that we do our annual toll road in front of the station. And we'll do that from 8 to 11. And that's a fundraiser for auxiliary as well. And the last thing I have is I shared with Linda, I completed the paperwork for the grant for the COVID-19 reimbursement. Submitted that today, just under $10,000 for, that's town-wide for reimbursement for latex gloves, hand sanitizer, the building of the barriers, vapor barrier, whatever you call them, for the town office and for Tumston Hall. So cross our fingers. I don't know if we'll get it all or if we just get some of it, but it's submitted and we'll see what happens. And that's just something that will go back to the town for whatever you guys use it for. Just want to let you know that it was completed finally. I want to thank Linda for getting all the receipts because that was a big part of it, being able to account for all that. So that's all I got, other than later in the agenda, we'll talk about the fire prevention trailer. Questions for me?
And I want to thank Dan for doing all the heavy lifting, putting in the grant application, because those things are never easy. They're multifaceted, and appreciate the fact that he did that for the town. That money, if it comes back to us, will go into the general fund. We've already really spent it, so we can't do anything additional with it, but at least it'll help a little bit. Just wanted to give you an update. When Dan Dutton was here last meeting, he had mentioned that the pavers had said they weren't going to be able to get to Pine Hill Road or Warren Road until the spring. They ended up apparently freeing up some time and put a shim coat on both roads last week. I think on Friday that was done. So just want to let you know that happened. On Friday of this week at 8 o'clock in the morning, approximately, the contractor is going to be setting the bridge down at Beach Street, that little portion over the, by the new sidewalk. And they're going to be closing down Beach for a couple of hours to do that. I've notified at least one person down there. The contractor was going to go around knocking on doors. I've also let the police, fire, and anyone else, Public Works, know that the street would be closed up for those 2 hours. Just a reminder to everyone, next Thursday is Thanksgiving and the town office will be closed that day. All offices will be closed other than emergency personnel. And wish everyone who sees this meeting later, I guess, a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Next, select board reports. Anything to report?
I don't have anything to report. I just want to mention that for the Academy building project, the fundraising, one of the fundraising things we're doing is Bates Weavers, Maine Heritage Weavers right here in Monmouth is making throws for us, and there will be a embossed leather emblem with the silhouette of the Academy stitched on there. Those will be ready probably the first or second week of December. So they will be ready for Christmas. We're hoping to have a good number of them for Christmas, and those are $70. And just reach out to me, either send me a message on Facebook, or you can email me at my town email address, or feel free to call me 933-6207. Thank you.
No,
I'm good.
okay. Next, public comment. Anybody from the public want to comment?
Any hands?
Next is a request for TIF funds for Apple Fest.
This is a request from the Apple Fest Committee and the museum to get reimbursement for part of their expenses for the Apple Fest event this past summer or fall. Normally, this would be an annual request, but last year, because of COVID, they weren't able to have the festival. So they are asking for $1,917 from our TIF funds. And Reagan LaRochelle, our consultant for economic development, has gone through this application and is in order for your approval this evening.
I make a motion to approve the request for tip funds for Apple Fest 2021.
Just a question, is this amount pretty much in line with what they've done prior to COVID in terms of,
I believe it is. Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
It's actually less. They didn't spend as much as they thought they were going to be, according to, what we got on in our packet. Because they didn't have as many activities going on.
Yeah, they didn't run everything that they normally do this year that they would have done in the past, and they're still just kind of dealing with the whole COVID situation, so the expenses would have been a little bit less than in the past.
And I make a second?
So we're to approve TIF funds for the Apple Fest. All those in favor? Thank you. The next is to approve a policy for appointing members to various boards, committees, and commissions.
So the board will remember last July when you were doing your annual appointments to Board of Appeals, Planning Board, various committees and commissions. You were in a situation where you actually had more applications than you had vacancies. And there really wasn't any kind of a policy in place to deal with that situation. And so the board at the time decided to just reappoint the incumbents and instructed me to come up with a policy that you could look at and have in place before appointments come up again next year. So I reached out to several communities, and Reed Field had a very comprehensive policy that describes what each board does. Basically, our boards are described in either state statute or our ordinances, how to apply to each one, what creates a vacancy on each one, guidelines for chairs, which is a good thing because we don't do any kind of orientation with our boards and committees each time new people come on. So it's a good thing for the chairs to know what's expected of them, setting up meetings, letting the members know that there's a meeting coming and all of that, or any special things that might be coming up in that meeting. It also sets out a section on conflict of interest, and the application is a little bit more in depth than what we've been using in the past.
I make a motion that we,
Yes.
oh, sorry.
I have a question.
Questions?
I read that application, that procedure that you had online. I had a couple of questions. One of them, with my past experiences with boards, I sort of have an insight on how they work. I don't know if these went to the chairman's, this packet went to the chairman of the boards. I had a chance to react to it before coming to you or not, but since I don't know that, I'll bring it up. The biggest thing I had basically was on page 5, you have the ability to accept board packets in digital form. Until this community has full broadband, you can't put that in a policy. There's 20% of the people here don't have broadband. You can't make that a policy statement. I don't believe you can make it a policy statement. As far as the packets go, we always had escrow accounts. I know the town manager doesn't like the escrow accounts for whatever reason, but still the applicant should be paying for getting applications in any type of format that the board wants. And typically the board wants it in paper. They've always wanted it in paper. When I was there, I always asked for it in paper. They were no problem. We'll get you 9 copies in paper. And there was never an issue. I know the last couple weeks I've been getting phone calls of what my policy was. Well, I don't have a policy. But what I can tell you what happened over the last 17 years, and I explained it to people that they were upset that they felt that they had a hardship getting board packets out of the town. I don't know anything about that. This is all I've heard. So, take it with a grain of salt. But in reading that, there are other avenues. I can't believe that you could put something like that in for the board. there are times where you're looking for people. What was the last committee?
Economic
Economic Development Committee, you were looking for people. You're putting another stumbling block in for those people who fill out applications. I don't believe it should be this comprehensive for this little town. Maybe in Reedfield, they have more people or it's a bigger community. We're still Little Monmouth trying to get by with what we've got. I'd like to try to keep it as simple as possible. If there's an issue with certain things in the application, yes, definitely fix it. Put a priority in line or however you want to do that, but don't put stumbling blocks in a document, at least not until all the people involved have read it. I know there's 2 people on the planning board won't get digital format. They won't. What are you gonna do? Kick them off the board now because they can't get digital format? I know we're making special reservations for it, and yes, you're trying your best, but going forward, basically until everybody can get it and decide that $10 is enough a month to pay for their own copies, to get copies made so they can have it in digital form, that shouldn't be in there.
We are making, I know that there is some special circumstances with the planning board, especially with the format of the large, very detailed prints that are required, especially with site visits where someone has got to have something to walk around with to be able to look at. And I know that we've made exceptions without exception. We've said anyone who needs it just needs to let us know. I mean, I guess I don't have an objection to making a point in the policy that would say we would allow, it's not a requirement of application, but it's certainly if someone,
There.
The way you read it.
well, this is what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm suggesting is perhaps we don't make it a requirement for an application, but we make it a starting point. And then if someone says, hey, I don't have internet, hey, I need a 2x3 rendering of a site plan, can you figure out a way to get that printed out, or I'll go get it if you guys give me a $10 stipend, whatever. I'm sure we can work that out. And I'm open to suggestion about how we might express that in the policy.
Well, just so you know, so the policy, the ordinance, I believe, requires that applicants provide 9 copies, hard copies. And apparently after Dave left, there was a miscommunication with the next code enforcement officer, and we weren't getting those 9 copies. And so the front office has never been involved in the planning board process at all. There was always Dave, and Doreen worked with him. So none of them knew what was going on, and the board was asked to receive their copies digitally, which the chair likes to get his digitally, but not all of them like to get theirs digitally. So when we found out that they were supposed to be providing 9 copies, we are now informing the applicants that they are to provide 9 hard copies. So if you want to either take that out, I know that, you know, there is an effort to try in certain circumstances. If we were to shut down again completely for COVID, it would be very difficult to get hard copy packets to anyone, because we wouldn't be getting them probably, and we wouldn't be able to get them to the boards. But it doesn't have to be in there as a requirement. You could put it in there as preferred. And I can tweak that. I can just, instead of having it the way it is, just say ability to accept board packets in digital format is preferred. But that doesn't require that they do it. And that doesn't change our ordinance that requires the applicant to still bring in 9 hard copies. So those who want the hard copy will get them, and those who want them in digital format will.
Would that satisfy your concern?
It's fine, except I think the ordinance also states that it can be digital. So if you read that ordinance real close, there, it's conflicting, and probably should be reread and tweaked, because other attorneys have said, well, look, you don't need hard copies. It says I can submit them digitally. But then I would talk to them and say, yes, but if you want to go forward with this application, it's going to be preferred that you deliver paper, and they would deliver paper. I know that hasn't
Right.
transferred, but I do believe that ordinance is also in conflict with itself. So that may need to be tweaked,
You're talking about the comprehensive development ordinance,
yes.
Okay. not about the,
Not,
not about the policy that we're
yeah,
discussing
but,
tonight.
they should be the same. If you're making a policy here, it should be the same as the comprehensive development ordinance. You don't want two conflicting avenues. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
And I think it's important that the developers, especially the bigger ones, the ones that are coming in from companies and are using engineers, provide those things digitally as well, because we're running out of space to store all this stuff.
Right.
And if we had the money, we would hire someone to come in and scan all this stuff and have it in the system so that people could easily go back and look at it. But we don't have that kind of money to hire someone to do that, or the ability to do it ourselves. So if we can get developers to provide things digitally as well as hard copy, that's good. And I think the whole comprehensive development ordinance needs to be looked at. We've had that conversation, so. But I can put the word preferred in there to tweak that section.
So
so then I make a motion that we accept the policy for appointing members to various boards, committees, and commissions as amended.
I'll second that.
all those in favor? Next is to accept the donation of a trailer for the fire department.
Yes, thank you. So it kind of fell on my doorstep last week that this trailer is becoming available. We haven't got the 100% blessing yet, but Linda mentioned that we should bring it to the board first to get your blessing to accept this donation should it be available to us. And I should know within the next week or two. So this would be a good evening to get the blessing. So if it becomes available, I can accept it. There'll be no cost to the town. And what it is, it's a 35-foot 2007 trailer that was specially made for fire prevention, to teach fire safety messages to the children in schools. We had a similar trailer. It was much, much older, in disrepair. We used it for several years. We've since donated it to a neighbor in town. So we haven't had it for the last couple of years, but when this was brought to my attention, that it's like 10 times better than what we had, and it's got much more features to it and in much better condition. In fact, it's got like stadium carpeted seat in one side where you can sit all the children and do your demonstration of fire safety messages. And it's just wired for everything, including the smoke machine and whatnot. So I'd like to present it to you that if we can get this and it's at no cost to the town or the fire department, that we can accept it and put it right into use for our local educational program. And we'd store it right at the North Station like we've done in the past. I think it's a no-brainer.
And how do you transport it? Is it just a bumper tow that you'd use
Yeah.
a personal
You
vehicle?
need a
to-
one-ton
Oh,
truck.
a 1-ton truck.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you that the fire department needs a one-ton truck?
Oh, wait a minute.
Now I get it.
No, we have several members that can tow it, and that's what we've done in the past. But it is a tow behind trailer requiring
Kindle?
a 2 and 3.
Oh, the 2 and 3, 5/8.
2 and 5/8 hitch. But believe it or not, it's down in North Reading, Mass. The gentleman that had this company, it's called Mobile Concepts, built the company and sold it recently, a few years back. he's driving up from Pennsylvania to look at it, make sure it's got everything working order. If it doesn't, he's gonna contact the current company that he had sold to, and they're gonna get it fixed and have it ready to go. And then either he's gonna transport it up here personally, drop it off, and then show us all the features and props and how to use it. Or the gentleman that brought it to my attention, who lives here locally in Cressy Road, is gonna go down to Massachusetts and tow it up for us. So it's gonna be delivered to us, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, if all goes well. So I'll be sure to keep you all posted if it does work out.
Good.
Be something fun for like National Night Out to have that, you know.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Parking lot. And
Sure.
have that going for kids.
Yeah, I would definitely like to expand our educational opportunities, you know, not just fire prevention. You know,
Only if I can get a pink fire hat this time.
Yes, you can. We even have white hats too.
Ooh,
Be a chief.
yes. So I make a motion to approve the acceptance of the trailer being donated to the fire department for fire prevention.
I'll second.
So there's a motion by Chris, second by Kent to approve the donation of the trailer for the fire department. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Next is warrant number 10.
Items over $1,000. Androscoggin Bank, this is a payment on the Maple, North Main and Beach Street project out of the TIF funds, $41,225.25. Blue Rock Earthworks for solid waste trips, $2,225. Central Petroleum Company, engine oil for public works, $1,221.55. CH Stevenson, this is the payment to the contractor for the Wilson Pond Culvert Project, $165,522. Havasu Watershed District, the second installment of our assessment, $16,214.33. CPRC Group LLC for shingle removal from the transfer station, $5,290.80. Havasu Lake Association, this is the boat inspection program that we put in our budget, $1,650. Dana Westling for cruiser equipment, $1,062.51. Eco Maine for recycling, $2,188.57. Howard P. Fairfield LLC for parts for public works, $1,393.34. La Rochelle Consulting for economic development consulting, $4,400. Maine Air Power Inc. motor for public works department, $1,617.45. Maine Commercial Tire Incorporated tires for public works, $1,679.06. Maine Equalization, our assessing contract, $2,287.50. Maine Waste to Energy for solid waste recycling, $3,049.58. New England Salt Company for salt, $1,865.56. Paul Designs Project, this is the architect on the Academy renovation project, $2,620. Treasurer State of Maine for titles, plates, fees, $4,922.56, $3,191.81, $6,806.41. And finally, Wright Pierce, our construction engineer on the Wilson Pond Culvert Project, $2,458.51.
I make a motion, we accept, we approve warrant number 10.
No second?
So the motion to approve number 10, warrant 10. And Ken has made a motion, Chris has seconded. All those in favor?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Woo-hoo.
6:29.
Wow.
Might be a reference.
Yeah.